Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson. Hooray! Coming to you from my lovely love room on the big island of Hawaii. Yay! Thank you for joining. I love
Mhm.
you.
So I wanted to tell you that I'm
um,
going to Florida that week from tonight. So I won't probably be on. Well, maybe we will because we're going with Holly and
okay.
staying at my sister's.
Yes.
I have not stayed with her. She hasn't stayed with me. We haven't spent time like that together since it's been almost 6 years.
Oh, wasn't there a falling out 6 years ago?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's like she's the last one that life is making it happen as I see it. And it's beautiful.
Oh, that's wonderful. You're going to be staying at her place?
Yeah, just for a few days. We're renting the house next door, but it's not going to be ready till Friday. We get there on Tuesday.
Oh, how fabulous.
So she insisted we stay. She's like,
Oh,
yeah, so it really felt we really felt welcome. I mean, so I was like, okay. She's looking for mattresses for
yeah.
us.
You'll definitely start to see, other people's perceptions of you change.
Yeah, I think that's what's happening everywhere. The private messages,
Yeah.
my
And
God.
it's because you're only seeing that because, you're only seeing that in your perception. So it's like basically your perception changed.
Right, because before I thought it was different. Right.
Yes. Yes.
I'm People are saying that I'm inspiring them because I'm the same. I'm with each person, I'm not different with different people.
Oh, wonderful.
I am who I am. Even on my videos, I'm literally laughing like I normally do. Yeah, like you do. There's no faking,
Yeah.
literally, whatever
Right.
happened.
There's no turning into some holier than thou spiritual guru.
Right. Coughing, burping,
Oh my goodness.
burping today.
Oh wow. Excuse me.
Yeah, that's what I said. Excuse me. So fun.
Yeah, it is. But that is the thing, that has been coming into, my I guess you could say it's been coming into my mind, it's been crossing my mind lately, is that, our perception changes and then it seems like we're getting along better with other people. But there's not other people. It's
Right.
just that our perception changes, our perception of them, our perception of ourselves. It's like whoever we think they are, well, that's how we think we are.
Right. Because when we used to say, what will they think of me? It was always our own thoughts. It wasn't it was our own.
Yes. And it's like, it seems like it's coming from the outside, but that's the big trick. It's
Mm,
made on the inside. You cannot perceive it. You cannot perceive it without having first seen it within yourself.
mm.
And wanting to cover it up and wanting to paint an innocent face on the outside with a world that's unfair, unjust, you
Right.
know, coming
Blame,
out.
mm. Blame, shame, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Come
It's
on.
like I don't even buy into it. I don't give it the meaning. I don't give it that kind of meaning. So therefore, since it doesn't have that kind of meaning, I don't have any conclusion about how I should react to it.
Right. Exactly. And the thing is that meaning, I mean, I was just talking with a friend about she needed some advice about a relationship, and I because her boyfriend doesn't say that he loves her. She goes, I know he loves me. I don't really need it. I said, then why? What's your mind making it mean that he doesn't?
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
well, just that seeking to get certain behaviors out of someone.
Yeah, exactly. I said, you're not in control. You're not going to control him.
Well, and you know, and if you look at why you would want to control, see,
Yeah.
it's like forgetting this kind of behavior out of someone as if that's going to get you what you really want.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
I recognize in my own relationship, like with my husband, you know, he was always so sweet. I could be like, hey, I don't like it when you do that. Okay, I'll do that different. Hey, I want you to do more of that. Okay, I'll do more of that. You know,
Oh my
and then
God.
I realize, hey, I don't even want that. That's not what I really want.
Hmm.
You know, it's
Hmm.
like it's like I don't want something different of you. It's just an unhappiness within myself. You know, I'd rather just forgive it and say that's not really real.
Right.
Then I'm not pursuing this samsara. You know, as the Buddha calls it, samsara, samsara. It's like this worldly energy, worldly roads that go nowhere. Every single choice, every single road in the world leads to death.
Yeah. Right. Oh my God. Oh, I can't even believe this. It really, really is a dream now.
Yay!
There's no question of
Yay!
this is a complete dream. It's so beautiful. Today, a owl perched up in a tree on our hike up in the mountain. Well, you know, it was up in the tree, and as soon as I looked at it, it was looking directly at me, and I was like, "Oh my God!" This feeling of connection happened between me and an owl. It took my breath away.
That's wonderful.
That was so cool. So cool. Ah, so many connections going on. And waking up in the middle of the night, wide awake, ready to go for the day at 1, 2 a.m.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
What the hell?
It doesn't mean anything though.
No, I saw the mind saying I should be sleeping. Oh shit! That's not what's happening.
That's not what's going on right now.
So cool.
It's occurring to me in my imagination that it's 1 or 2 in the morning and I'm awake. There's
Right?
a reason.
It's occurring to me. And all of this happened, and there was no doing.
Right. Yeah.
No doing.
There never was though. There's only an identification as if you are.
Right, right.
Yeah.
God. So,
The
so Holly's coming with us.
who is?
Holly.
Oh, how fun. Yay,
Yeah,
Holly.
she's coming on the trip with us. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it.
That's it? Okay. I
Yeah,
love you.
I love
Thank
you
you for
too.
joining.
Thank
Yay.
you for so good to see your face.
Oh, I
Your-
love you.
I love you too.
Aloha.
Aloha.
So, hooray, everyone, for the fact that nothing happens. Because of that, because nothing happens, we can always be free to love. We can always be free. You know, if if it's not if it's not fun for you, if you're not laughing and jovial and having fun, then that's because of a choice you made not to laugh. Okay. You thought yourself to be separate and it looked serious. And so all of the other serious things that arise on the surface are just like an extrapolation of that. Look, it's so serious. Oh no, they're showing me this emotion. That's so serious. You know, so much is kept bottled up, you know. So much goes unexpressed because of this fear of being authentic. You know, here's one instance I can give you a really fine example of it. Um, Say this idea that a kid is supposed to wear a seatbelt, otherwise they can go crashing through the windshield and like, I don't know. There's all kinds of stories of what can happen if they don't wear their seatbelt. And so the kid is going, I don't want to wear my seatbelt. I don't want to, I don't want to, I don't want to. So what does the parent do typically is to let the kid know how dangerous it is if they don't wear their seatbelt and all the bad things that could happen to them, to make it so that it becomes the child's choice out of fear not to wear, or out of fear to wear the seatbelt, because not wearing it could mean devastation, right? That's not honest. That's dishonest. Um, and, you know, I'm not shaming anyone for being dishonest because they don't know. They don't know they're being dishonest. They think they're being honest. They think that that's really the case, that that their child is in danger if they don't restrain themselves with a seatbelt. That's their belief. They don't realize that that's a belief that they adopted, you know, based on worldly evidence that something in the world is fearful. Okay, to be honest, would be to express how you feel, you know, to say the truth and express how you feel. The truth would be that you're perfectly safe in all situations, all the time. But I feel afraid. I feel afraid. And that's why I insist on you wearing your seatbelt, because I can't drive this car without you in your seatbelt, because it's that much fear. You know, if we're just honest about all of it, not only do we start to see through, but these things lose their kind of power of manifestation. The worldly, the attraction to this worldly kind of fear is just meant to keep the sense of self, keep the separate sense of self, and uphold the world. Now, notice I'm not saying that you should do anything different. I'm not saying that you should let your kid go without a seatbelt. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that you can notice what's motivating that action and be honest about what's motivating that action. Remember, it is an emotional journey. You can't take emotions out of it. So you might as well just be honest about how you feel and what feelings are motivating what it is that you find yourself doing, what you find yourself demanding. See, that would be demanding, you know, you have to do this. But it's more like you know, why am I demanding this? Because of this. I can't help it. This fear makes it so that I can't drive around without you in your seatbelt. Not only does it show your own mind, and you can apply this to all different things. You can apply it to all different things. I can't go to sleep at night without locking my door. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean you should go against your fear and try to scare the shit out of yourself. Just be honest. There's not bad people out there. That's not why I'm locking my door. I'm not locking my door because there's bad people out there. I'm locking my door because of fear. And also recognizing that that fear is what makes the projections of fearful people. See? So as you're just noticing why this behavior, why this kind of protective, defensive kind of behavior, because as you're just noticing that, the cause of it is getting resolved. Because it's meant to be veiled, and it has been veiled a lot. And it's coming, and the veils are coming down. They can't stay in place forever. Only as long as we want them. Only as long as we want them to keep the truth hidden from our sight. And we do want the truth hidden from our sight for a little while. But only because of confusion. Only because of feeling unworthy of the truth. Yay, aloha, welcome. Thank you for joining. I love you. Hmm. There's no pain between us. There's no pain between us. It's only subjective. It cannot be shared. I can't give you my pain. You can see my pain. You can look upon it, but then you can choose to look past it too. All of us, you could say, are in a sense carrying some pain. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see us with physical eyes like that. We wouldn't be perceivable like that. We wouldn't seem like dense bodies. They wouldn't seem like some dense bodies like that. So what we're looking upon is each other's mistaken self-belief. What we're looking upon, whether we like it or dislike it. Oh, I really like you. Oh, I really dislike you. What it is a mistaken self-belief. That's all it is. You know, there's nothing like that in the way we truly communicate. There's nothing like that. Like, there's no comparisons. There's no, oh, I like that behavior better. So therefore, I'm going to go toward that behavior and away from that behavior. We don't really make decisions like that. We don't really make decisions like that. because there's nothing like that in reality. So all I'm saying is you watch those thoughts that go towards that are leading in that kind of direction. It's kind of like a path. Like, oh, I know what's good for me. I know what I need. I know what I need, so I'm going to get the get the person that has what I need and be with them and not be with the ones that don't have what I need. See? And making those decisions for yourself, it's going down a path. All those decisions are like the same decision. It's like a decision to go down a path of like self-preservation, you know, trying to be responsible for your own life instead of giving it over to whoever happens to appear before you, whoever it is that happens to appear before you, and not making any decisions on your own about who you're going to be with and who you're not going to be with. See, because when you try to choose for yourself, it's like you're using your perception of a person for making your self-image, growing your self-image. You can say building upon it. And that's what, I said earlier, all paths in the world lead toward death. See? And that's why death isn't necessary if you're not going to get emotionally invested into these relationships. Any relationship, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be a romantic relationship, it could be a relationship, let's say, with your boss, your job, with your kids or your friends, any relationships, just in letting them be natural and unfold naturally as they do without putting any of your ideas on them. See? It comes down to watching how it's all a feeling. It all comes down to it. This is a feeling. And everyone who arises in your perception is bearing a gift, you can say, but it's all the same one. It's your beloved. So it's not as if, um, okay, since their role is my kids, for instance, they should act this certain way. Or say if their role is my spouse, they should act this certain way. They should behave this certain. So, if they want to be my spouse, they should act this certain way. That may be the case. That may be the case that certain kinds of behavior look like you're moving in another direction, but that's never up to you. That's never even up to you. It's not your decision. And thinking about it in that way, thinking about it as if you do have the choices, if you can make the decision, you know, is holding the relationship up sort of like an idol, so that it's not free flowing. It's not there's no curiosity. It's like, this is how it is. This is how they are. This is how it is. This is how they're supposed to be. But it's all for teaching. It's all for teaching. Also could be called unlearning what you thought was true. So that the truth could be revealed. And that's all these relationships are for. So if we try to use them for something else, like if we try to use them for our own special gain, you can say, like try to get something for ourselves out of them, then it leads us into conflict with them. Like, oh no, something's wrong. You know, I notice a lot of people have trouble too, like if they're in relationship with someone and someone has an emotional reaction, like an intense emotional reaction, maybe say some intense anger or something like that, like, it's like, oh, I'm not going to be with an angry person. I don't know. Any anger that you perceive, whether coming out of yourself or out of another person, is the same. It's the same. There isn't anyone over there getting angry. There isn't anyone over there getting angry like that. It's no different if you were the one that just lashed out in anger. It's no different. So you're certainly in that instance not expecting an apology, right? Not expecting an apology. So, look, as if you expect an apology, just notice what's going on there. And look, if they expect an apology from you, let them. Will you apologize? I don't know. It doesn't matter, really. That's just a surface thing. Surface thing. Apologizing. Doesn't matter. You don't have to make an idea about it. But just let them have whatever perception it is. Yay, aloha. Thank you for joining. I love you. Whatever perception they have of you is the perception that they need to have. So there's no need to change that. Here's the thing, from their subjective experience, from their subjective perception of you, that's what they made for themselves. That's what they made to teach themselves, to teach their own mind. You've given them a gift. From your own subjective experience, you have something from them too. See, it's like you've each given each other a gift. So it's like um, when you hear these things, for a lot of people, when they hear me saying these things, they will start thinking of people that it will apply to, like other people that it'll apply to. Like, oh, they should really hear this. I wish they would hear this. That's what's fun. So whenever you find yourself wishing that anyone would hear something and learn something, that's totally not about them. That's just holding yourself back from the gift right now. And these things that I'm sharing, they're only to be noticed. It's not for shame. It's not for blaming yourself and nothing like that. It's just that they go on in secret. They just go on in secret, and you don't see it. So then it's just brought to the light, and you see it. That's why Jesus would say, repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. It doesn't matter what time it is. It doesn't matter how long you've been pursuing some kind of an emotional thing with someone. It's just in the moment you have the clarity, you choose to repent. You could. The moment you have the clarity, and that's always there. And you could always ask for help. That's another thing. When you ask for that kind of help, when you ask for help in clarity, perceiving what's really there, and it becomes like obviously there. Like, oh my God, it's so obvious. You ask for help in perceiving what's obviously there, you get it, you receive it. A lot of the times there's forgetting, though. There's forgetting that the help is there. There's forgetting, there's a pulling the wool over your own eyes because you want more to protect yourself in the world. Even letting yourself be hooked and then led by thoughts that are saying, how could they do that? How could they do that to me? I deserve better than that. They're going to see that I deserve better than that. That's making the relationship into something that it's not. That's not what it's meant for. It's meant for looking back. It's meant for healing your own mind. By looking backward, I mean it's sort of like turning the eyes inward to your mind instead of outward to what your mind's projecting. You have to work up until you're making that particular choice, but all the time you have a choice between two things. And that's life or death. That's one way of saying it. Another way of saying it is misery or contentment. So there's no such thing as death. There's no such thing as that. It's an imaginary death. And that's where we are leading ourselves, and we try to take any path in the world that seems like it's going to restore our sense of peace. It's as if we threw away this peace, but we didn't. It's only as if we discarded it. We can't throw it away. We could just put it out of our mind for a little while. Put it out of our awareness for a little while, which takes great effort and energy. It takes great effort and energy, these defenses that are built up in the mind, to help us not to see what's really true. And all of these relationships that we're having, no matter what it seems like they are to us, no matter what role they seem to be taking, they're all for that. They're all for seeing through. You know, the form of the relationship doesn't really matter. The form of the relationship does not really matter. It does not matter what it is. They could be your dog or your cat, even. See? It can even be inanimate objects. See? Scientists are starting to find out that everything is coherent. That's so funny. I never thought about that before, I don't know, maybe like 10, 15 years ago, but just like how you treat even your stuff, that's relationship. The way things are get discarded is their gratitude. Nothing's really going anywhere. You're only relating with yourself. What you're perceiving is really empty space. It's like empty space. That's what consciousness is. It like gives you the space to make up illusions. You could say it's like empty space. There's nothing in it. There's absolutely nothing in it. It's a trick. It's a trick of the imagination. It takes the energy of the defenses that you built up about against knowing who you are to make a perceived world. Isn't that fun? That's all of us, me included. I'm not saying that I'm like out of this because it's coming out of my mouth. Okay, all that's real is love. All that's real is love. The world is not real. That's what's going to come to be known, that the world is not real. And as it's come to be known that the world is not real, then it becomes less and less fearful until it's not fearful at all. And we don't have to make fearful systems. Silliness. Make up some silliness to replace what we really have. To replace the awareness that we can only have what we need. Nothing more, nothing less. Always, always have what we need. This world of perception shows us something different. I mean, even to say we have what we need, that's not even really, you know, really it. Because there is no need. There is no such thing as that. In the world of perception, it's like there's this idea that you have more or less than you need. Like maybe in a relationship, oh, they're too affectionate, and then or else they're not affectionate enough. Too much of this, not enough of this. It's not, but it's not really there. It's not really there the way it's showing it to yourself. You don't have to come to any conclusion. Like, oh, that's not good enough for me. I deserve better than that. See? I'm not saying that's wrong in any way, shape, or form. I mean, when people are going through the different ideas of self, let's say, these different ideas of self in the world, this feeling like you're worthy in the world is just part of it. Feeling like you're worthy in the world is just part of it. But like, who gives a shit about worthiness in the world when the world is really coming to help you reveal what made the world? Like all of your relationships, everything in your perception is coming to help reveal to you what made the world. But if you look to the world for the answers, if you look to the world for the answers, it's just going to become more and more obscured. The truth just becomes more and more obscured because the world doesn't have the answer. But if you believe that you're a body and that the world is all there is, and you have to find the answers in the world, and that's where you're going to find yourself looking, and that's perfectly okay. That's where you're going to look for a while until you find out that it isn't there. It isn't in the world. It's only in your mind. The whole world is in your mind. So when the world seems to make you angry, when the world seems to make you angry, you can look at something like this. Like, you have this pretty mask on the outside. It's got this beautiful face and it's so loving. It's got rosy cheeks and everything. And then from the inside, there's a projector of this bad world outside. It's like that. It's like there's this projector on the inside projecting into this bad world outside. And but on you're covering all of that up with this beautiful image, even this image that loves in the world. Oh, I love them because they're so this, and this, you know. And those that I hate and those that I can't stand, they deserve that because they're part of like all that's wrong in the world. Oh, I can't believe it when they do that. Oh, isn't that sad? Isn't that terrible? Life used to be so much simpler. That was a good one that I heard recently. Life used to be so much simpler when we didn't have technology. It's funny because it's just the same thing that every generation says. We only just had, it was back to, it's just another one, a hook. It's just another one of those hooks. There's nothing better or worse about life now than it ever was or ever will be. It doesn't matter. It's all nonsense. And in the nonsense, it brings up what's within, what's in the mind. What conflict do we have that needs to be healed? What thoughts are we invested in emotionally? That's one way of saying it. It's like baggage. When you're invested in thoughts emotionally, that's like baggage. It's like you're too much. You weigh too much to enter the kingdom of heaven. It doesn't have anything to do with physical weight at all. Nothing like that. That's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's a weight in your mind. It's heavy, dense. So to invest emotionally in a relationship of any kind, it could be a relationship to a situation, it could be a relationship to a job or a certain thing where you get certain benefits. I don't know. When you're relating with anything, it's for one purpose only. But if you try to use that relationship to get what you want out of it, that's where it's going to lead to suffering and ultimately to death. Okay. It's through using these relationships for ourselves, you could say, instead of for healing, for a selfish means, which would be a defensive means, you know, rather than letting everything be used for healing the mind that leads to death, that leads to the perception of death. Death experience, you can call it. I said before there isn't any death, but that's where these roads lead to that kind of perception. So it's not really a necessary perception. It's not really a necessary perception. It's become a very common perception, very, very common perception because of belief. And look at all of the things that lead up to it that are being believed in. One of them is sickness. Okay, that sickness is believed in as if it's been caused by something in the world. That's a setup for death. That leads to death. That belief leads to death. I've heard it's necessary to be sick so that your immune system can get strengthened. Nothing like that is true. That's another, it's just making the body real. If making the body real is a setup for death. No, in relationship, it's the same thing. There's always making this choice you have whether to make the body real. Do you make their body real? Do you make their behavior important to you? You don't have to make their behavior important to you. They could just behave in any way, much like a show, because you don't really have a choice who you're with. But you do have a choice whether you're going to make the decision how to react on your own. If you decide how you should react, then that's a choice for making the body real, as if it's something that you have to protect, instead of allowing that relationship to just unfold as it does. You are choiceless, that's already true. But when you think you're choosing in it how to react to certain behavior, for instance, who to be with and who not to be with, when you think you're choosing those things, you're missing the one choice that's really important. That's not an illusion. That has an effect on the illusion, but it's not an illusion because it's from beyond it. It's a choice to see that relationship as what it is, for what it is. It's a choice to see that relationship as an opportunity. Whatever's coming up, whatever behavior seems to be offending you, whatever wish you have that they would be more of something for you, it's a choice to see that that is for you. That feeling that you get off of that, that's for you. You know, it's a choice to admit that you're wrong. If you ever feel upset, you must be wrong. You must be mistaken. Not wrong in a bad way, just mistaken. It's a mistaken self-belief. Wrong in the most glorious way, like, thank goodness I'm wrong about that, because that would suck if it was true. Yay, I got a hand. How fun. The hand of sativa.
Hi, Hope.
Aloha, my love.
Hi, this is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. It's one of my
Yay.
greatest illusions.
Me too. So fun.
So, I have a question on the aspect of like, I see what you mean
Mhm.
by it's like wrong thinking. It's not with the Holy Spirit. But what I get confused about is like, don't we always have to be moving towards what motivates us? Like, if something's not motivating us in a relationship, I immediately like get this sense that I want to run away or like look elsewhere.
Okay, that's a pattern. That's the habit. That's the habit. It'll be revealed to you if you're leaving. You'll know right away. That
Mhm.
sense that kind of sense that you want to run away, but you're not running away, you're
Mhm.
looking elsewhere, that's a habit.
But I'm still confused on like I don't know, just like when triggers happen in relationships.
And what? Tell me about it.
Like it doesn't feel like a holy relationship in those moments that I experience a
Well, good.
trigger.
Good. Good. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to.
Well, can you make a special relationship into a holy relationship?
It's not really like that. The holy relationship is one.
Mhm.
So you have you in the in that moment at hand, either you are allowing the relationship, let's say it already is a holy relationship, the whole
Okay.
thing, a holy relationship. It's whether you are allowing it to be holy in your mind right now or not. And
Mhm.
if not, it's okay. It doesn't have anything to do with his body.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. It's all one. The holy relationship is one. The special relationship is specific.
I see. I see.
See, so that's why it doesn't matter if he comes or goes, or if cause if you seem to come or go, whatever it is, it's all drawn
Mhm.
together. It's not like you guys are actually in bodies.
Yeah. And what's interesting is I've noticed like each time I leave a relationship, it's like those patterns or triggers, they still
Hmm.
come up in the next relationship.
Isn't
And
that
I can
funny?
see, yeah, it's like I can totally see how I use the people to get the feeling. I finally started to understand what you meant by that.
Yes, good. And that's what experience is for. That's why don't get
Hmm.
pissed off about the trigger.
Okay.
Because that's what the trigger is a blessing, and you choose whether or not you're going to let it be healing or not, because
Okay.
whatever you think about it is what it is.
I see. Yeah, because I've experienced like triggers in a fun way before. Those are kind of rare, but I can see what you mean by like even that can be fun. But I've noticed more of the pattern is that I see the gift or the miracle once the trigger is over,
Uh-huh.
once it's passed,
Yes.
once communication has happened.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're in the midst of a trigger, you're not always going to remember.
Hmm.
Yeah, as you're learning anyways, as you're learning, and your learning is done when you're not perceiving anymore, like you're not seeing any separate bodies. If you see separate bodies and people could see your body, that's how you know you still have more to learn.
Wow.
So you can expect to get triggered, and you can also expect
Wow.
expect to learn more and more and more and more and more from those triggers, which
Yeah,
is
I see.
awesome. Yeah, so
And I
you come to appreciate them.
yeah, I also found it really fascinating because like I've been studying the course a lot lately, and I've been seeing these triggers come up like rapid fire, like
Yeah.
constantly, and I can totally see how the universe is just like, here, you can try again. And like each time it happens, it's like a new opportunity to see through it. But it feels like it's been coming like rapid fire.
Yeah, and it could get very intense. I know how that is. But you choose in the midst of a trigger
Hmm.
whether that's a gift.
Yes, I see what you mean.
And you can always choose again. So you can say this sucks and then you can change your mind.
Yeah, wow.
It's never too late.
That's such a healing thought.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't even matter how deep, how long you were in it, how deep you went, anytime.
Mhm.
That's why, I love that saying by Jesus, repent, the kingdom of heaven is at hand,
Mm,
and then you can laugh again.
wow. That brings so much peace to my mind. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you, Hope.
Yes. Thank you. I love you.
I love you so much.
We're so stoked.
Mm,
We're stoked in love. Like, yeah, my husband said earlier today, my husband Tony said, wouldn't it be great if every time someone got a trigger, they would just laugh. They would just laugh about it. And it's like, yeah, and I can totally see that. I can see that. It's coming. It's coming because they get more and more clear about what they are as they play out. That's why they're such a blessing. Ah, I love you. Thank you. Thank you, Molly. I'm so glad to see you. I mean, I'm so glad to see your name and see you in my imagination, too. Bob, you're on.
Wow, I am on.
Time.
Thank you very much. So why did you come on so early? It seemed like it was before 3 o'clock.
No way. Are you serious? That is the funniest thing I've heard in a little bit. Maybe like
My
five.
computer's 3:15. Is my computer wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's wrong because,
Oh
like,
yeah, look at that. My computer time is wrong. Oh my God, it's almost 4 o'clock. Oh, I got to reset my computer time. It's always going off the hook.
you're so fun. I love it.
Well, good. Well, I'm glad I caught it before you were out. Oh boy. So yeah, I have so much to talk about. I'm so thrilled to follow my lovely friend Goddessa Sativa, who I
Yay.
so your book. So I've read your book a few times, and you've asked for testimonials and book reviews. And
Yeah.
so I've written stuff, but I don't know if what I've written is just, you start the book out by saying this book is about dispelling illusions about parenting. So I don't know if what I'm writing about your book is just another illusion about that you would dispel about parenting. So I don't.
That's the best. I love it. You're so fun, Bob.
Right. So, you mean the world to me. I have learned and grown so much. I just can't think of a thing that I value who has uplifted my life and liberated me more than you. I've followed so many enlightened people, Krishnamurti, Joel Goldsmith, on and on and on, looking for enlightenment. And to have you in my life, a close personal friend who I have access to at all times and can call and hang out with and go out with and have dinner with and everything, it's just been the greatest treasure in my life.
Oh, well, that is a wonderful testimonial. Thank you.
Right. So there you go.
There you go.
But
There you
but
go.
Okay, but now, so then the idea with your book is that,
Yes.
I was thinking, well, this is your first book. You could have chose any topic to lead off your book. You know,
Apparently.
the the topic of parenting and children. So, you know, I think I've mentioned this to you before, that the crux, this idea that I've had, that the crux of human misery, of human problems, is that what's done to children, children will do to society.
I see. Okay.
And so then that's why I felt that this was the perfect introductory book for you, because this is the basic fundamental human problem that I've mentioned, I think, to you before, that the childhood is like the root, the foundation of human life. And so you have to lay the axe at the root of the erroneous methods and approaches to parenting that are not love filled, that are all about reward and punishment, and that there's no acknowledgement of feelings and needs of the children. But then it seems like I've heard you tell me that all that I just said to you is just another illusion.
Well, yeah. And you know, my thinking behind it is not really the same like that. It's not like it's not like the people are doing it wrong already. No one is doing it wrong. It's just an exploration. And no one really has an effect on you. No one really had an effect on you as a child. Even as a child, you know, that was the form that you found yourself in, but the whole time you had all the power. See, you always had all the power. So, you know, the writing of the book doesn't come from the perspective that I'm saving any kids from anything, or that this parenting is the root of anything, because it's not. It's not the root of anything. The root is in the mind. And it doesn't really matter where it is or what topic you take it on. I mean, it's like, for me, that was an entry point to seeing how the whole thing works, is watching my relationships with my kids, okay? Because I could see how I could allow so much more freedom there. That was something for me that I could, from this personal perspective, understand and kind of like wrap my brain around. But really, what it's pointing to is your relationship with yourself. Just like anything else, I'm probably going to write a one on romantic relationships too. And you know, that's just for the mind, really. I mean, it's all pointing to one thing. It's all pointing to one relationship. See? So it's not like the book is important in the respect that it's getting to the root, to the basis as the parent-child relationship. It's important because it's getting to the root of everything that you perceive. You know, it's not like that's to be held out as something special and different from all other relationships, as if the seeds you plant there are going to have different effects than the seeds you plant, say, in a friendship relationship, or in a relationship while, you know, with your checker at the grocery store. You know, these things don't need to have distinctions. These things on the surface don't need to have distinctions, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay. Well, that kind of sets me straight on that, because, you know, it started to get me thinking about, you know, there's your book on parenting, and then I have read and studied many other books on parenting. I have, you know, two wonderful daughters.
Yes.
And so, you know, then I started thinking, well, I could write about a little bit about my parenting experience. You know, like I had read Magical Child by Joseph Chilton Pierce, and Whole Child, Whole Parent by Polly Berrien Behrens. And I read a lot of Krishnamurti, who talks a lot about childhood education. And I remember when Anand was in the womb, I would get right up to Cheryl's stomach and read Krishnamurti's messages on childhood and everything too. So, I was going to maybe talk a little bit about my experience with other teachings or books or whatever that relate to your book. But then I didn't know if that was appropriate to
It's
discuss.
freaking, whatever it is, it's freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, but yeah, because like both of my daughters were born. Cheryl never saw a doctor the time she was pregnant. The kids were born just with friends and midwives, all outdoors. Anan was born at the river at the hot springs near Mount Shasta, and Zara was born where we were camped out in Ukiah, and they never saw doctors their whole time. So I thought, well, maybe I could share a little bit of that story in, my testimonial.
Whatever you feel led to write is perfect.
Okay. So yeah, then I think
Molly said, thank you for enlightening little Anon, Bob.
Oh yes, thank you.
So sweet.
Everyone knows how enlightened she is.
She's so awesome.
Okay, so then I'll go ahead and whip up something and send to you for the testimonial for your book, because you weren't here last week, and the week before I was busy. I couldn't get on with you, so I wanted to discuss it with you before I sent something.
You're such a sweetheart. Thank you.
Okay, well, you're welcome. And thank God I caught you, and I got to talk this over with you.
You can always call me for that too.
Oh, right. Yeah. Sure. But I thought it'd be fun to, share it with everyone here. Molly got to hear Anand's enlightenment story.
Yes, it's fabulous.
Got to follow lovely Sativa and everything. So this is
Yeah,
very
yeah.
all right. Well, that might just about do it for now.
Fabulous.
Okay, well, fabulous to you. I love you. I mean, I just can't tell you how much you mean to me. This dispelling of the illusions, pointing out, that's my stupidities, my selfishness, my pettiness, that I've lived with, that you have exposed, that have helped me to see, that I am just kind of asleep and dreaming in my own little head, that
And
I'm not
do you feel accepting of all of this too at the same time?
accepting. Of course, yes, because I
Yeah,
don't want to live in illusion. I don't want to live in ignorance and taking something real that has no reality to it. So
sure. And
so
when you do find yourself taking it as if it's real, are you allowing gentleness for yourself?
oh yeah, well that's just it. Then it's all for laughter in the end.
Yeah.
So that's just it. You can kind of feel a little. Crushing of, what you had built up to be so great and big and real, to be, kind of whittled away into nothing. And then you're kind of left with the rug pulled out from under you, but then you have a firm foundation in reality, and
Yeah.
not living and putting power into things that are worthless to you.
Yeah. So all the silliness and the stupidity and all that stuff that you see, all of that stuff is a blessing. It's a blessing for you to perceive it as it is.
That's it. That's
It's a blessing, and it's not. But see, it can only be a blessing when you recognize it's really not about you.
mm-hmm.
Really not about you. It's not something you need to change about yourself, because just having the perception of that, fumbling kind of stupidly, and it arises for all of us, myself including. I'm not holding myself apart or anything, myself included. When I have the perception of something like that, there's an immediate, and this is what is difficult for people. I see there's an immediate allowance of that, and loving of that, appreciation, gratitude, because it's healing.
Right, that's just it. It's healing. It's that's the thing. It's allowing. It's making space to open your heart and your mind and your soul to this new possibility that you don't need to have all this baggage. You don't need to have all this stupidity, all this guilt and shame and fear and blah blah blah. You know, all this negative junk. You know that you
Yeah,
think.
and when you do, it's okay.
That's right. It's all okay, but
It's okay.
right. That's just it. You don't have to get down on yourself. It becomes a celebration.
Yes, because it's in the noticing what it is that's the healing.
That's
It's
it.
in noticing what it is. But if you're holding yourself responsible at all for it,
Mm,
then you're not really noticing it. You're noticing more of what the ego wants you to see.
mm, hmm.
See? It's so there for you. Even say you perceived yourself lashing out in anger. That
Hmm.
is so for you. It's no different as if it was another person in
Mm,
your perception, because there isn't anything like that. It's all the same. If you perceive someone being angry with you, if you perceive yourself being angry with someone else, that's the same thing. And that's for your, it's there for the teaching. It's there for the reaction that arises so that you can see through the reaction to what causes it.
mm, hmm.
It's not for anything else. It's not for making it about something that you need to get rid of, you know? It's not making it for anything like that, because that what you see, that stupidity that you see on the surface is really a projection, and that's a projection for you. So it's like, okay, thank you. And this gratitude for everything really really smooths it out, really makes things clear.
Right. The gratitude and forgiveness I found is really
Yeah.
important. That you don't, have any condemnation or grudge against anyone or yourself or any blame. That it's uh, forgiveness is the greatest freedom, and so that's what I've been learning a lot from you, is that I had still been stuck in unforgiveness in certain areas.
Well, wonderful. Wonderful.
Now
There's
I
not and here's the thing that you could look at when you perceive yourself stuck in any area, in any area, it's just gratitude. It's not like when am I going to get through it? It's like there's an excitement in having the perception.
right, it
There's
is. It's
excitement in it.
it is. It's like a treasure. It's like finding a treasure, that it's been hidden all this time, and now you found it, and you're free, and you see. Before I was blind, now I see. It's like I was watching a video about a guy that had put on, who had was colorblind and put on glasses for the first time, that someone had created, that he could see the color for the first time in his life, and it was just amazing to see this guy's reaction, how he could see color for the
Yeah.
first time. And that's what it's like, you just, before I was blind, now I see.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a celebration.
Mhm.
So thank you for helping me to see and celebrate with me.
I
That
love that. That's the greatest gift.
Okay, well, that's what I want to give you a gift for sure.
Thank you for celebrating with me. Yay. Aloha, Bob. I love
Okay.
you.
All right, I love you. Thank you. See you soon.
Uh-huh. Thank you too. Yay! Molly. The Molly hand. You're on. At least on my end, you are. I hear music, but I don't hear Molly. Okay, I'll just leave her mic on for a moment. Oh, there's a hand again. But I turned the mic on already. I'm gonna mute her and then go. Okay. Okay, it's green. Are you on? I don't know. Give me a sec. Okay, cool. Yeah, what if we could all laugh whenever it seems like someone should be behaving differently? And we will. It'll all just be the same. Ooh, did you come on a different way? Okay, that one's on
Hello?
now. Woo!
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I had to go enable my microphone in my settings for some reason, and then it kicked me out.
Oh, and now you're back. So that's
Yeah, so
exciting.
I ran back into my email. I'm like, where's that link?
Oh, that was awesome.
Hi.
Aloha.
I was really going through it earlier, and it's so funny on the days that I'm like, oh, wisdom dialogues, thank God, it's gonna save my life. And then and then something else happened, and it all, like, because I sat with everything and just so dedicated to like sitting with everything and being with it all. And then by the time three rolled around, like something else like swept me up, and then I was like, oh shit, it's four. I can't wait to hear you talk, but everything I was like freaking out about is like over.
That's perfect.
But I still wanted to bring it up because it's just like consistently what I notice is working with like anxiety. I feel like is this underlying energy that I've been having to sit with. It's like, this needing things outside of myself and watching like the mind, and just like it's like really starting to stick today, where I watched when I was like, just let go of the thoughts about it, like just let go of get out of the head, let go of the thoughts, just feel it. And then the good thing about good news, news about working for myself is I was like, oh my God, I'm just going to go take a nap. And
Yeah.
like, I was like having to do all this computer work, and this anxiety was building because I didn't really want to do it. And then I was having emotional stuff come up. Um, and then I feel badly that I can't self-motivate at times like that. And then I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like lay down, and I just processed it. I don't know that I have a question, but I guess I'm just sharing that was my
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing, Molly. You just lay down and you feel, right? Do you feel all
Yeah.
those sensations?
Yes.
Yes, that's plenty. And it's like this perception that you're having of yourself having your own business and everything like that, and having and being able to have this kind of time, this perception, it's because you can use this right now. And look at you are.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Because that's what it's for. Really, the perceiving is for seeing through what causes the perception. It's not really for getting your job done or motivating yourself to do your computer work or anything.
Right. Right.
It'll happen. It'll happen if it needs to, you know?
Right. And it is all happening. Like
Mhm.
it's my photo website. It's been taking months, but it's like it's okay. Oh, and I noticed like that recently, that there's this correlation between procrastination and anxiety, which is that I'm like attempting to give myself more mental space, but then I put pressure on myself, and then it creates procrastination,
Oh,
where
fun.
all I'm really trying to do authentically is give myself the space to get into my creative flow or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And I guess that is part of, like, I think what I'll be offering, through my quote unquote businesses or whatever, my lifestyle. It's like, I'm not choosing to do something wrong by not completing the website. It's like, it's just this force that's like, lay the fuck down and feel the feelings. Like this is your job now, right now.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
do it like a boss.
Do it like a boss. That's right. That's right. It always comes down to, what is this for? And, it's like when you have an uncomfortable feeling, or, you perceive this computer work, it's like, what is this for anyways? And also, just the thought, I'm not capable of doing anything, is so powerful when you feel it, I'm not capable of doing anything. Then let this body be used to serve the function that it was made for.
Yeah.
Let it be used for that. Lay it down, surrender it for that, instead of trying to use it to get what you want out of it. And this is all a feeling. It doesn't have to do with anything you seem to be doing on the surface, but you feel how you're motivated. You sense what motivates you. See,
Yeah.
is keep offering it up.
That actually does bring me to a question, which is about the body, and that I felt like some dental stuff and like some like hidden infection stuff, and just
Okay.
like I've been, adrenal fatigue kind of. And so I've just been cleansing more and like giving myself time to rest. And then I kind of was like, oh, like what I'm feeling like detox today. Like that's part of why I feel it was, I was getting the message that part of why I was feeling not right, like emotionally, mentally, was like I was feeling this detox. And so I guess I can go about the motions of just kind of clearing out my body like I do regularly in the spring. But I guess I get a little bit caught up in that story about that there's something to heal, or something's infected or wrong, or dirty or impure, or just
Yeah.
needs to be healthier kind of thing.
Yes. Well, that's always symbolic. That's always symbolic. So it's like it's not really on the surface. Like the perception of an infection, it always has one cause. Everything has one cause, and that's just mistaken self-belief. That's it. It's like a mistaken assessment you made of yourself. So what it comes down to, and it comes down to that there's only one cause. It doesn't really matter what magic tricks you seem to make on the surface. You can make all kinds of magic tricks with cleanses and stuff like that, and apparently make yourself feel better. It just doesn't get to the root of it.
Right.
See, it's not like anything's wrong with it, of course. I think that. I'm just saying that for everyone, but it's not that there's anything wrong with doing any kind of cleanses, or even if you're led toward medical intervention, drugs, anything like that. It's just meaningless is all it is. And all it takes from you is a little bit of willingness to see that it is in fact meaningless. Whatever it is. It does, excuse me. This is kind of just allowing yourself to perceive yourself as being silly like this, using these kinds of worldly methods for healing, when the only problem is the same problem with everything.
Thank you. Yay.
Yay, I love you.
I love you so much.
I appreciate you.
Me too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mwah.
I'll see you Saturday.
Yay! So
Aloha.
excited. Aloha.
You. Yes. Hooray. So, you probably start to see, especially from this session, how many things, many different pathways we take toward building up the self image and making the body into something real. See, many different pathways going that way. The way we might perceive illness, as in this cause an illness. We never stop to think, well, not never, but they'll say the ego never stops to think, hey, did I make this illness up just to make it seem like someone is guilty? See, it's like, did I just make this up so that I could get some kind of, the ego's never going to ask a question like that. But that's how it is. That's how it is. It's like anything that we perceive that seems to be out of order, anything that we perceive at all, but especially anything that we perceive to be out of order, it's like it's like an attack on reality. It's saying, "Hey, look what you did to me. Look what you did to me," as if something in the illusion can do something to you. Look, I caught this disease, and you can't catch anything from the outside. You can't get an infection from the outside. Like, say you have an infection in your mouth, that didn't come from anything on the outside, and that includes your body. Remember, your body is also on the outside of your mind. It's not the opposite way around like people think. It's not like these bodies have minds in them. The body is on the outside of the mind. The body is being perceived by the mind on the out, it's like projected onto the screen outside of it. So that's also on the outside. If you think the infection came from inside your body, that's also out on the screen. Nothing like that occurs. It's not like that. The mind projects everything. The mind projects the body and its health or disease. And nothing on the surface really affects it. But because it looks like it affects it, because it appears to affect it, you will find you will find yourself most likely making magic tricks with the illusion to make it seem like you're getting a healthier or better body, like maybe taking some kind of remedy, maybe even essential oils. You could say essential oils. Using things in the illusion like that, like magic. It's not bad or wrong or anything. That's not to be said about it at all. Of course, it's like, since you find yourself as part of an illusion, you're going to be acting like it's real. In a lot of ways you're going to act like it's real. But in the acting like it's real, it's always where your mind is. It's kind of like, I like the term giving a nod to God. Like just acknowledging that it's not a reality, that only heaven is reality. What I perceive is not a reality. It's the reality that I gave myself because I wanted to believe that I could be separate from what is. And in that acknowledgement, that's what allows the healing to transform your mind. And this mind will be transformed. That's what's meant by every eye will see. This mind will be restored back to sanity and will only be capable of seeing heaven, only be capable of perceiving what's actually here, though, because that's what's actually here. What we see in this world, where we perceive things separate, we perceive things we like and don't like, we perceive things that gives us pleasure and pain. When we perceive opposites, it's not a reality. It's just a pseudo reality that we gave to ourselves to pretend like we can do something different from what is. Pretend like we can have something different, and it all started with a little thought. I want to be special. I want to be special. It's not good enough to be one with everything, loved as much as all of creation, It's not, it seemed like not good enough. So this need to be special, from this need to be special comes a projection of a whole world, and then looking for that specialness in relationships. Looking to have that specialness fulfilled, looking to have it mirrored back to us. And it always goes awry. You know, if you don't get your ass kicked right away in the first few minutes, it's going to occur down the road. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what kind of relationship you emotionally invested in. It's going to be kicking your ass if it seems like it's a reality like that. As if there is someone who should be behaving a certain way toward you. If they behave this certain way to me, if they show me this, then I'll know that I'm special. That's how I'll know I'm special. If they show me this about myself, they reflect this back to me, that's how I'll know. So it's always this trying to get, the right behavior, or trying to hang out with the right people who give us the right behavior, or trying to get our body to be on its best behavior, where even when our body shows us something, like maybe some kind of an illness, maybe a little cough, to all the way to like cancer or whatever, our body showing, that's also a relationship. That's also a relationship. So it's like, what are you going to take that out? Is that something you need to fix? Is that something you really need to fix? And if it is, just admit it. I'm afraid that it won't be healed on its own, so I'm using this. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But it's just in being honest. I'm afraid, and that's why. I'm afraid, and that's why I'm taking this aspirin. Whatever it is. That's one reason why I love essential oils. It's like you can use essential oils as friends, more like friends, communication. You can use anything like that too, but it's kind of like this could be a really pleasant aroma, something that resonates with you, and it's more like, hey, let me see, not take this away or make this better, but let me see. You'd use anything like that, really could. You could take the aspirin, and instead of expecting it to get rid of your headache, let me see. It's not going to get rid of your headache, and essential oils aren't going to get rid of anything for you, or any other method. They're only for making magic tricks. It's how you think of them is all. It's how you think of them. Some things seem to make it easier for thinking of them like a friend. And that's why I'm drawn toward essential oils, because when I just take an inhalation and it smells so good, I'm like, feel easy to feel this sense of relaxation. It's a little easier than taking a pill, but it's the same, has the same effect. It has the same effect because all of the effects come from the mind. So if you were to use something else like that, like say all you had access to was aspirin, and you were to use it like that, it would be the same kind of effect as if you use another alternative, or what maybe you considered healthy, like a tea or something like that. It's all the same. If you're asking, let me see, you're always doing it in the mind, and whatever it is, it could be symbolic of let me see. Okay. And also, you can get the illusion of bringing some comfort in the meantime. So that's fun. Okay, so Bob wants me to read this love thing I have here. Let me see. Let me read this. Love is patient, is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud or rude. It is not self-seeking or easily angered. Keeps no record of wrongs. does not delight in evil, rejoices with the truth, always protects, trusts, preserves. No, that's not preserves. Perseveres. Perseveres. That's it. Never fails. And that's 1 Corinthians 13. So hooray! Let's see, is there something else to be shared with everyone today? Oh, here's a fun one. Can you read it again? Read it again? Okay. Love is patient, is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud or rude. It is not self-seeking or easily angered. Keeps no record of wrongs. Does not delight in evil. Rejoices with the truth. Always protects, trusts, perseveres, never fails. 1 Corinthians 13. Hooray! Okay, so here's a really fun one. This weekend, I found out the difference between polyamory and open relationship. I don't know how anyone else is about this. Apparently, this isn't only in Pune. That made me laugh pretty big. This kind of stuff isn't only in Pune. It's also going on over on the mainland. You know, it's like the spiritual thing now is like this. Anyways, let me tell you how it went. So I found out that polyamory means that you're in a sexual, romantic, emotional relationship with many people. At least this is from someone's point of view. Open relationship is you have one person that you're emotional with, and the other ones, they're like just sex buddies. You're just like using their body. No emotions. So that was really fun to find out. And I don't know if that's how it goes for everyone, but I thought it was pretty funny. But the person who told me that then said to me, he said, "We're not meant to be with only one person, right?" And he said, "Right," to me like that, right? And so I was like, oh, I was just listening to that whole thing. I didn't think it was that like asking me anything. But yeah, so then it occurred to me, well, we're not meant to perceive ourselves in separation in the first place. And any kind of concept that you make about how we should be would be a judgment, you know. So there's not anything about how we would be. I mean, like if you want to do that, then just like that's what you want to do and that's what you find yourself doing, then that's all there is to it. It's not about how we're supposed to be because we're completely making this thing up. We're completely making it up. So, you know, I know there's this thing going on. I've been, you know, caught wind of this thing going on about how we're supposed to be. And so it becomes some kind of concept, and that's how most spiritual seeking goes. It's like seek and do not find. Seek and don't find the answer. Seek and find yourself better than other people because you're the one doing it right. You found the right way to do it, and now you're doing it right. And here's the thing, there's no right or wrong to it. It doesn't matter. You can have it however you want. I mean, I don't know about the part about not having emotions because the whole thing is an emotional journey. You know, you're just pretending that you're not having emotions, but that's okay. That's cool too. It's all emotional. You know, you're not going to have unemotional sex and you're not going to have an unemotional cup of coffee either. It's all emotional. So it doesn't matter, and it's not like there is any spiritual thing to do. Just becomes another one of those aesthetics. It's not like there's some spiritual thing to do. It's not like if you do this, then you're doing it the right way spiritually. Um, you know, it's a matter of preference when it comes to whether you go the monogamy route. Who knows? You can go the celibate route. You can go the polyamory or that open relationship one. It really doesn't matter. It really makes no difference. And just using something like that is the same thing as using, say vegetarian or veganism, or even, I got friends who swear by meat, so they'll say, well, we're meant to eat meat. We're meant to eat vegetarian. We're not really meant to have a body in the first place. And we're making all of that up. We're making all of those sides. See how there's sides? Wherever there's a side and you have to defend against another thought system, that's how you know. That's how you know. And it's the same thing, when it comes down to beliefs, as far as beliefs, like I've had a family member tell me today, well, I don't believe like you do. And I said, well, that's perfectly okay. I mean, and not only is it okay, it's great. It's great because it's not even about beliefs, when it comes back down to only love is real, it's like only love is real. So it's like, and no one has to believe that. No one has to believe that. That's like beyond beliefs because it's something that's extended between us. And it's not transferred. It's not transferred by belief. It's not extended by belief. In fact, belief is meaningless. We only just use it in the dream because that's what is in the dream. It's all belief. And you could say all beliefs are equally true and untrue. You know, and there's certain thoughts in the dream that point to the truth, that go in the direction of the truth, and then there's certain thoughts that go in the opposite direction of the truth, and nothing's in between. Nothing's in between. It either goes toward what's true or away from it, and nothing's in between. And this is not conceptual because you can sense it in your body's energy field. Either you're taking on judgment and building up your self-image, or you're allowing it to be destroyed. You're surrendering judgment and allowing your self-image to just poof. There's nothing there to defend against. And the barriers aren't there for loving. There's not these invisible daggers going out about how this person is doing it wrong somehow. Or how this group of persons, or how somehow in the world it's going wrong. Like it shouldn't be like that. I shouldn't be like that. Oh no, I did it wrong. And here's the thing. Here's another thing in relationship that you'll see is, when you're in relationship with someone who's also committed, if both of you are committed, it just takes, it has to take both of you being committed to delusion, basically. Someone might say, hey, you did that wrong. You wronged me. And then you go, oh yeah, I did. Gosh, I did it wrong. And you feel that kind of, and you want to fix it. You want to try to fix it. They're going to agree with you that you're wrong. You're getting an agreement that you're wrong. Oh yeah, you're definitely flawed and you need to learn from that. You need to learn from that mistake, You'll get people to get on board with you and agree with you because they think it's in their best interest for your behavior to now change. Okay. They think it's in their best interest for your behavior to change. And now you're convinced that it's also in your best interest for your behavior to change. So getting people that in relationship agreeing like that. And this is it's like it's like a stinky agreement. It's like a stinky agreement because it just feeds that sense of separation. It feeds that sense of self, you know. I can give you an example, you know, having the perception of someone blowing up in front of me, just blowing up in front of me, and then coming and saying, I'm sorry, you know. It's like, I don't accept that. I don't even accept that. No, that was awesome. What are you sorry about? That was awesome. It was great. There's nothing. I'm so grateful for that. You know, it's like with gratitude for it. With gratitude for it, it is awesome. There aren't any wrongs you can do. There's not any way that you can make any kind of mistake. There's not anything that you can do to make you less, to make you anything less. And I know that if I have a perception of anyone like that, that it's in my own mind. That it's in my own mind. And by knowing that it's in my own mind, I can't hold them to something like that. And when we can't hold each other to anything, then it's poof, gone. We don't have to keep it for ourselves. We don't have to keep it for our friends. And it's like, oh, if I perceive that you've done wrong to me, that's occurring in my perception. That must be because of my mistaken self-assessment. That's why I'm having that perception. So the last thing I want is for you to try to change your behavior so that I can't see that anymore. I'll just get it out of someone else. Because I got to get it. You know, I got to get that self-reflection. That's what this whole perception is for. This perception is going to bring me that self-reflection, whether it be through you or through someone else. So there's no need to change anything in the illusion. I want it the way it is, the way it seems to be coming. And that even includes the way this apparently autonomous body, known as my body, seems to perform. It's not capable of doing anything. It's not capable of acting out of step with the whole illusion. Then, you know, that's what I mean when I say you're not capable of making any mistakes, because you can't act out of step with the whole. It's one thing. And if you take yourself as if you can, then it makes it so that you have to get the effects of that. Until you repent, until you change your mind, you have to get the effects of thinking in separation. And when you get the effects of thinking in separation, what you took to be true is now cemented even more. So it's even more difficult to see through. So if you take yourself as if you can act out of step with everything, out of step with the whole, somehow make a misstep or somehow make an error, you know, even oh, I missed that appointment. So not what you think it is. So not what you think it is. If you think it was your mistake, so not what you think it is. Oh my God, why am I so disorganized, for instance, that I would miss that appointment? It's not like that. Having the perception of you missing the appointment, having that perception that you missed it, is only an image. You could say it's a reflection of a mistaken self-belief. So when you see it for what it is, you can laugh. It looks like I missed that appointment. You can laugh. That's the way it went. Maybe you're laughing inside because someone's pissed at you for missing the appointment. It doesn't matter. That was very irresponsible. What are we going to do about that? Smiling inside. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You might get a reaction to that. There I go again. There I go again. Being a flake, for instance. Not being responsible. To show. The lack of responsibility that you perceive is projected by you just so that you can get that effect. In gratitude, you're going to see what the root of that is for yourself. No one's going to heal it for you. You're going to see it for yourself because you're going to finally be willing to go through it instead of trying to fix on the surface, trying to fix yourself maybe. I want to not make this mistake again. I want to get it right. Why? Did you forget what it was for? There's nothing like that. Even in seeing through the illusion, you cannot make a misstep. And as you relax and allow the events to unfold, allow everything to unfold, allow all the feelings to unfold, you're going to laugh. You're going to laugh when you see all the times when you tried to make it as if you could fix that about yourself, or as if it was something wrong. The thing is, it's not even about you. This comes to, I'm grateful for it. Either I'm grateful for it or I'm making it about me. Here it goes again. I just can't be that person for some reason. I'm sorry I can't be that person for you. I'm sorry I haven't been that person for you. I'm going to try to be that person for you. Lots of people will try to join you in that. I say try to join because there's really no joining. It's projections. You always find, as long as your mind is perceiving in separation, you'll always find people to want to join you in agreeing that you've been doing it wrong. If that's where you want to go. And you don't have to argue with anyone if they do tell you you did it wrong, and then okay. That's what they're exploring right now. They're exploring wrongdoing right now. It's not really personal. It's okay. So let that exploration unfold. Let that exploration unfold, and everyone comes back from that journey, and it all ends. That the ending is sure. The ending is for sure. It all ends in love. And you let it end in love in your mind. Let it end in love in your own mind, so your perception is changed, and then the loving comes back together. The loveliness between you shows itself again. Like I said in the beginning, there's no fear between any of us. There's no fear, there's no hatred, there's no anything like that between any of us. There's only love between any of us. And if we're perceiving something else, we're cutting off the communication with each other from our own end. From our end, we're cutting off the communication. Because it doesn't matter what it is that we perceive, that's all love. And if we are not getting it like that, we can bet that we're cutting it off from our end. because otherwise it doesn't matter what someone else is showing us. It's always like, oh, thank you. Thank you. You know, even if it seems like it's bad, like it's something bad about you, like it's something bad about your self-image, is like, oh, thank you. Because it's not really like that. It's always love. It's always only love. Yay. Yay for everyone. I love you so much. I appreciate you. It's so beautiful that you joined me, and you know, those of you that come on and speak with me, thank you so much. And those who just watch or just listen, thank you too. And so much appreciation for everyone. So yes, if we're sponsored by Miracle Botanicals, I guess I'll just like let you guys know. We do the webinar here, and then all of the internet work and everything like that, sponsored by our lovely company, Miracle Botanicals, and that's why it's free. Isn't that fun? So if you like essential oils, or you know people who like essential oils, not only are we sponsored by Miracle Botanicals, but also they're the best essential oils. I took them to a conference this weekend, or this week, and wow, I didn't realize that at this conference no one's bringing their products. None of the merchants are actually bringing their products. But I always have essential oils, not so much to sell them, but to share them. So I'm sharing the essential oils, and of course, the feedback that I get too, and I know what's to be expected because I have a lot of experience in the industry. But the feedback that I get is like, wow, I have tried thousands, maybe an exaggeration, but thousands of essential oils, and where do I get them? So they really are, really are wonderful. Some of the ones that really appeal to people, Integrity is one, the Integrity blend, that just like really, so many people resonate with that one. Also Freedom, another one of my blends. If you like Patchouli, Cosmic Journeys, just people are loving that one. And I have a whole chakra line. You can look up chakra if you're into that. I've got a whole chakra line going. People will love those aromas too. And of course, we have all the pure single essential oils you can think of, and then some. So yeah, miraclebotanicals.com. If you're not into essential oils, no big deal. If you just happen to hear someone into essential oils, I think they're going to be stoked with the quality. So, feel free to give our name. Yeah. Next week, I'm not coming next week. I'm not coming to online. I'm not going to do the online wisdom dialogue. We're going to skip a week because it's my son Braun's birthday. And by the way, anyone who's listening and is in the area and would like to come to my son Braun's birthday, it's March 26th, Tuesday, March 26th. Next Tuesday, he's turning 11. We're going to have Baskin Robbins ice cream cake and pizza. And I got games. I'm going to say this kind of quietly because he doesn't know about it yet. I got Twister. and there's going to be definitely a Smash Bros. Competition on the Switch. Yeah. So I come Tuesday at 2, next Tuesday. And I'll be back the following Tuesday after that. And I don't foresee taking time off for Wisdom Dialogues online after that. I was kind of taken by surprise this week because I was like, oh man, next Tuesday is your birthday. I was talking to my son and I was like, okay, let me take Wisdom Dialogues off. But normally it's every Tuesday at 3 o'clock, and I so appreciate it. And so definitely make time for it most weeks out of the year. Yay. Wisdomdialogues.org. Wisdomdialogues.org is where you could find all my videos. And you can get invited to join this kind of session live for free, going to Facebook.com/groups/Wisdom Dialogues, or send me an email to hope@miraclebotanicals.com letting me know you'd like to be added, and I will add you. Yay. Thank you. I love you. Until next 2 weeks from now. Aloha and a hui ho.